Hello, you guys. I'm very happy to have you all here today. To introduce myself first, my name is Emma. I am an admissions fellow here at Brandeis, and we have a lot of students who are interested in hearing about orientation. And since you guys are a part of that, we thought we'd have you guys here. To start off, some things about me: I am a rising junior here at Brandeis, and I study theater and neuroscience. And I'm also very involved in our performing arts world on campus. So if you don't mind, could you guys introduce yourself, share maybe your class year, majors, minors, things you're involved in?
Hi everyone, my name is Ria. I'm currently a rising junior here at Brandeis. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm currently studying history and international global studies with minor in legal studies and East Asian studies. Currently I'm involved with the Waltham group, which is our on-campus volunteering group. I'm involved with the Fund of Color Alliance, which is housed under the Intercultural Center here on campus, and I'm also involved with student government.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan. I use they, he pronouns. I am a rising junior as well, and I'm studying neuroscience with a minor in chemistry, and I am involved on the Brandeis quadball team. That's all I do.
Hi, my name is Katelynn. I am the only senior here, it seems, but my pronouns are she, her, hers. I major in HSSP and AAAS with a minor in women and gender sexuality studies. On campus, I'm currently involved with Brandeis African Student Organization, which is also under the Intercultural Center here at Brandeis. I also do Brandeis Rebel, which is like a dance team here as well. And then I have a few health-related internships and jobs on campus. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you all for sharing. So to kick us off, could you guys each share maybe your favorite memory, something fun about when you first got to campus and experienced orientation?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. I remember having some connection with my roommate before we even started orientation. She contacted me through email, and then we had our initial FaceTime. And honestly, orientation just really served a lot to deepen that bond and to really connect with other new friends as well.
Yeah, for me, I think it was coming into my group and not really knowing anyone, but having the opportunity to just sit in that emotion and meet other people who are kind of feeling the same and just connect through oh, we feel really nervous right now. Who else is feeling like that? And seeing that everyone else felt like that, and then I was able to get a friend group out of it, so that was really nice.
Yeah.
Mine is very similar. My freshman year, we had the Museum of Science trip, which doesn't necessarily happen anymore, but I met some of my closest friends there. I remember we were walking up and I saw them and we made eye contact and we continued and walked on, and we've been friends ever since.
That's very sweet. Thank you all for sharing. Since you guys are all a part of the orientation core team, if you don't mind, could you tell me a little bit about what being on core team means and what an OL is?
So I've actually been on the orientation core committee for 2 years now. This is going to be my second year. So core team really just helps plan the behind the scenes of what orientation will look like for the incoming students. All the major events you see, and even the small little modules they do as well, we kind of help and make sure that they all run smoothly. An orientation leader, however, are current students who basically take in what we call group lists, which are the incoming students that come in during fall. OLs just take in these incoming students and they guide them through that first week of orientation.
Okay, yeah. Do you guys have anything to add, or?
Just an OL is gonna be your main point of contact, who you're gonna be communicating with when you first get onto campus during introductions. So that's gonna be how you learn the schedule, how that's gonna be your group for the majority of orientation. There are a few events scattered through, but that's gonna be the main person you're gonna go to for advice and navigating places on campus.
Yeah. All right, perfect. And then what drew each of you to being on orientation core team and to being an orientation leader in general?
I definitely was a very shy person, especially when I first came to Brandeis. I remember the first summer I did do the orientation leader position. I was very I don't know if I should apply for this. It's very my comfort zone. And I one thing I've definitely done along my Brandeis career so far was let's just try it just because. And I ended up falling in love with the job, and I ended up doing mid-year or core team, and now I came back for a second time. So I really love the job, meeting new people, and all the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, I started doing it because of who my orientation leaders were my first year, and just seeing how like involved and how much they wanted me to succeed on this campus and like make that connection with me really drew me into like wanting to be an OL. During mid-year, really like made me think, oh, I want to do Core because of how well I connected with these students, and I wanted to be able to give them what they were asking for as well, which I couldn't really do as a OL. So I was taking their advice and bringing that into this year's orientation.
My answer is pretty similar to Ria. Not necessarily that I was so shy, but just more I only had like 2 or 3 friends my entire first year at Brandeis. I was kind of fearful of like exiting my little bubble. Again, I spent a lot of time at the ICC, and I just kind of wanted to expand out of that, and I figured orientation is the most aggressive way to do so. And honestly, it worked. I mean, I'm hanging out with people I would have never come to meet otherwise, and I feel like I'm having a great time. A lot of my closest friends are OLs, and I also really enjoyed my first years, the first time I did orientation, so it led me want to do Core as well. And a lot of my grouplets that I met my first time doing orientation, as well as mid-year, are now incoming OLs as well. So it's like you do it onto others what you want done to yourself, or something like that. However the quote is.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, some of the people watching aren't necessarily going to know what orientation is or what college even looks like. So could you guys each give a brief overview of what exactly orientation at Brandeis looks like?
So orientation has so much going on. A lot of the first years that are probably watching this video now have already done their modules, and if they haven't done so, get on that now. That's the first part of orientation. So there are about 3 modules that they'll do prior to coming to Brandeis. It's on something we have called Moodle. It used to be called Latte, but you won't have experienced that. And now it's called Moodle, and it's basically mini assignments. I wouldn't say they're anything like homework, but it's like little things that could happen while here at your Brandeis experience. Afterwards, you'll then come into a big orientation. There'll be small group-led discussions, then there'll be an academic fair. There'll be a club fair as well, which isn't necessarily part of orientation, but it falls within the same week or so of orientation, so we just kind of throw that on there as well. And then obviously the big events that we'll have later at night, we won't tell you what they are now. You come and find out what they are when the time comes.
So how do you guys see orientation as a way of community building here at Brandeis? How does it help students build those connections?
I think just putting people into a similar situation where they're a little bit forced to interact with people they might not feel that they normally would, and like build those connections that are made through similar feelings of, oh, I don't really know anyone right now. I kind of want to see who's out there and like what experiences I can make. Kind of builds that community really well, and then through that you get to meet who they've met, and then that continues, and that's kind of how you learn everyone's name on campus, which will happen eventually. And that's really like, it just starts with like the connection, and it starts your web at Brandeis, and that will slowly begin to expand through orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think from the moment that students and their families move in, that's already like the welcome to Brandeis. You have community here from the moment that orientation leaders and this year's move-in crew start helping lift your things and just have helpful directions, kind of answer those last-minute questions you have. I think that you already have that community from the start, and then once you begin exploring campus, attending these orientation events, you'll meet all sorts of different types of people, and I think that's like the perfect part of this community here at Brandeis.
Do any of you guys have fun stories from your orientation experience and making new friends, new connections? I know you mentioned you met your friends at the Science Museum. Do you guys have any more stories about how you made friends?
I remember, like, for me, when it was like the movie night event, I remember literally just walking with my friends, and we just walked up to random people at the side, because we came in kind of late, so I missed part of the movie.
Yeah.
But we just got to meet some new friends and eat snacks with them, and just that was like really nice. And we literally chit-chatted until after the movie had ended, and we just kept talking, and that's how I made so many friends here at Brandeis.
It's very fun.
My first week of orientation, I lived in Cable Hall my freshman year, and Cable doesn't have like a huge community space, but Reitman very like which is right next door, does. And I remember just hearing people screaming, and I had no friends at the time, and I think it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So I like walked over, and my mom was like, "It's late, go back to bed." And I said, and I hung up the phone, and I walked to Reitman anyway. And all the people that I met that day, I'm like Reitman 2, I'm still friends with today. So it's still pretty fun. We were up till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's so much fun. Thank you so much for sharing. What is one part of orientation that you are the most excited to share with the incoming students?
I think sharing like the night is going to be what I'm most looking forward to, because as a freshman, it feels like kind of small, and you're like, oh, I'm writing down what I want to do here on campus. It's not going to like stick in my mind or whatever, but you write it down on your little candle, you bring it back to your room, you kind of place it. I forgot about mine until I left my freshman year, and my writing was still there, and I looked back and I saw all of the words I wrote to myself and what I wanted to do, and like remembered all the stuff that I had done my first year, and I was able to achieve what I had written, which was making friends. And just remembering like to push myself out of my comfort zone is what I wanted to do. And I remember taking my candle and being like, oh wow, I really did that when I came here to this campus. And I think just being able to share like that time when you first think of what do I want to do when I first am on this campus, and then being able to remember what you were able to do.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna agree with Ryan on this one. Light the Night is one of my favorite campus traditions, and whenever I did core, well at least for mid-year, I was like, guys, you gotta go. This is the one thing. Just please go to this. This is a campus tradition. Just please pull up. I remember that I wrote like everything with love on mine, and I think that's just more like reminding myself to do everything because I want to do it, and not because it's gonna fulfill like this requirement for a major, things like that. And that's definitely something that I've really appreciated, reminding myself of that goal. So I really like that event because it reminds you of why you're truly here at Brandeis.
How involved would you say current students are with orientation? Is it mostly just going to be first year students there and the OLs, or are current students getting pretty involved as well?
So orientation is actually for all students. Again, I keep referencing these quote big events that we do. These things are almost like a spectacle when you walk in. There's noise, there's music. I don't want to like allude to anything, but these things are so big that there's so many upperclassmen that come as well, especially transfer students. It's kind of open for all.
What would you guys say is the most valuable thing at orientation? And it's a really broad question, but maybe the most valuable thing you've learned or that you want students to take in when they come to orientation.
Yeah, I definitely say like coming with an open mind and like learning that like aspect of exploration. Like I remember when they gave us some of the breaks, I literally just want to walk around and look for my classes, and that gave me a sense of like tranquility and preparedness for right before classes started. And I also think just being willing to try anything and just come up to random people asking for help is definitely a huge part of orientation.
Yeah, I would say go to like all of the tabling events, because like first coming in, you're like, oh, there's no way this is helpful. There's free things. Always go to things where you get free things. If you take anything away, get your money's worth while you're here and get the free things.
My advice is very similar to both of theirs. It's try everything once. I think that's the most valuable thing that Brandeis has to offer. Brandeis has so many different people with so many different interests, with so many different things to offer. I think try it all. I'm not necessarily a theater person, but I've always been interested in 24-hour musical, for example. I auditioned for it my sophomore year and got a pretty fun role for it too. So it was actually something that I would probably not have done had I not come to Brandeis. But I think try everything once. You never know what type of people you meet, what type of things you'd actually be interested in.
Is there anything that you guys have learned in your experience with orientation, whether through working it or having been a part of it, that surprised you?
I think possibly how involved people and then their families are as well. I think that was something that was really surprising to me. I knew when I was coming to college, I just thought my mom was like psychotic in like her own way, but everyone's family is so involved. Everyone's family wants to be a part of it just as much as a student is, and not that it's a bad thing at all. This is like a new experience for everyone in your family. I'm sure it's the first time you're going away for school. It's the first time they're experiencing you go away for school. You could have older siblings that have done it before. This is the first time it's happening for you, and I think it's so interesting to see like how many families care and how many families are so involved and how many people just want this to be a good experience for everybody involved. And we, as orientation and as core, we always try our best to make everybody feel involved the best we possibly can, obviously.
Yeah. Were you guys surprised by anything else during orientation?
kind of like what Katelynn said, definitely realizing that I knew like this is definitely a very rigorous institution, but not having that pressure of everybody comparing with one another. That's definitely something I don't miss from high school, being in toxicity, and I really appreciate that people will push you to become better, a better student, a better future professional, but in a way that's supportive of your dreams and goals without placing that toxicity or competitiveness on you.
And I think just like working orientation has shown me like all of the OLs that that are working are so nice and kind. And like when I first came in as a first year OL, so last year, I was super nervous because like, oh my gosh, there's a group of like 50 people that I don't know. And like once when you started to talk to one of them, everyone else just was like so nice and like we're so willing to just have these conversations. And like that carried through the entirety of orientation, where they'd be like so helpful to new students, to parents, to anyone that needed help with like directions or like they had questions about classes. Just like seeing how willing they were to give help was like really refreshing, I think I would say.
Yeah. Do you guys have any sort of advice or words of encouragement for students who may be feeling nervous about coming to campus?
Let go of the nerves, you're gonna be fine. That's my advice. I think coming into college, especially, well, coming into college at any point, regardless of like how old you are, like what period of your life that you're in, can obviously be extremely daunting. But honestly, you did a lot of the hard part just getting in. You did a lot of the hard part applying. You did a lot of the hard part being able to like get all your things for school, your fridges, like all that stuff. You've done it already. Now it's like you get to reap the benefits of what you worked so hard for. That doesn't mean stop working hard. College is hard. Please continue to work hard, as again, you want to keep progressing, you want to keep doing more later in life. But I think everyone here is experiencing this with the first time with you. It's your first time at Brandeis. We're all trying to like do the best for ourselves in the future. So just let go of it. We're all in the same position. There are so many people here that are willing to help. There's so many people here that actually want to help. So much so that you're like, man, I should ask for help more, because they're like offering it almost for free. So, and also take all the free stuff. That's really good advice. There's so much free stuff. There's so much free food. Take it all. That's my advice.
I agree with that.
I would also say like everyone is basically feeling the same. So if you sometimes you can't let go of emotions, you know, but just know like even if you feel like, oh, I'm the only person that feels this way, someone else within orientation is feeling the exact same way. And if you just reach out and talk to someone, they'll be willing to have that conversation as well, because they want to make a connection just as much as you do. And those connections can simply be formed by you walking up to someone and being like, hello, my name is, this is what I want to do. And that's how a friendship can be made.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all their wonderful advice, and I'll definitely say kind of connecting to those two is kind of just there's always something or someone that can help you on campus. It might not even be who you expect. Sometimes it's a professor acting as a mentor for you. Sometimes it's the people right there at like Sherman or at Houston giving you an extra swipe because you ran out, and everyone's just willing to help. There's always resources, like for example, people sometimes share Ubers to get to the airport together. Like there's really, you'll always have resource and that support that you need to get through these next few years.
Can you guys talk about some helpful resources that are available to students during the orientation process and during their first few weeks here, who are maybe like their first points of contact?
So we have first year ambassadors, which will be super helpful. They're all super lovely people, like every single one of them, some of the nicest people I know actually. And they will be able to answer almost all of your questions and like are so willing to help because our boss works with them. So Laura works with them, and she was like, they get so excited when they get your emails. Like basically they really want you to ask questions. So if you have any questions, just send them over and they'll be so willing to help you.
I think academically, we have bugs, we have academic services, we have SSSP, we have, honestly, upperclassmen. You'll take any class. For example, a lot of us, or Ryan and myself, are both STEM majors here, and we talk about Gen Chem all the time. You walk into any type of class and you're confused, there's probably an upperclassman who's TAing the class, for example, who's more than happy to help. So I think academically there's that. Socially, you'll meet people along the way. Again, referencing those first year ambassadors as well as the Office of First Year Experience. There are people in there, the Oasis Lounge, everyone's in there all the time. If you like dogs, come visit Riley, she's dope. People are always here and happy to help, so don't feel free to ask.
Definitely the first place I thought it was actually the library, just because I used it so much, especially that first week. I had no AC, as many first year students don't, and I basically studied, lived in there as much as I could. It was just really nice to have the AC, but also all the resources that there is. Like, I remember I did not have the best luck, and on my second week, my laptop shut down completely. I was like, please let me borrow this. So they let me borrow the laptop, and they got chargers for you to borrow. In the winter, they got like the little sun lamps for you to, but they have so many resources for you, and everyone's always willing to help there, whether it's the student workers or the librarians on staff.
So you guys talked a little bit about first year ambassadors just now, which is amazing. So could you guys touch a little bit more on what those first year ambassadors do once orientation concludes, in order to help students get involved in the Brandeis community?
So these first year ambassadors would basically take the baton from the OLs. Again, the OLs are your first people that you'll come to meet on campus that are upperclassmen that are basically here to like lead you or start you off here at your Brandeis journey, but it doesn't necessarily have to stop there. First year ambassadors will continue that outreach and continue to program with a lot of the first years and incoming students at any point. They're basically just here to serve as a resource or like anything that you need that we spoke about a little bit earlier. There's also CAs on campus, which are community advisors, very similar to RAs at like any other campus. They're just here if you have anything in your residence hall. Again, first years all live together in both North and Marcel. They just serve with anything and help you try to build community as well. So the Office of First Year Experience will also just continue to collaborate with, again, Academic Affairs, the Department of Community Living, or anything, and host events in September, October, all throughout the year for students who sign up for the program or just want to continue to have support from them as well. So, yes.
Nice.
Oh.
So we have this thing that we do at the end of our podcast, which is called This or That. So you guys have to give a rapid fire answer to each of these questions and no explanation, all right?
Okay.
So first question is favorite professor.
What?
Oh.
Professor Roach. Okay.
Professor Woodruff.
Daniel Green.
All right, what is your favorite class?
Black Feminist Thought.
Cradle to Carceration.
I really like modern India, from partition to past.
Nice. All right, Duncan, Starbucks, or Einstein's?
Duncan.
Einstein's.
Duncan.
Owl or Judge? Our two mascots.
Owl for sure.
Owl.
Judge.
Favorite Brandeis tradition?
Light the Night.
Light the night.
Like the night.
No 24-hour? Love 24-hour music.
Love 24 hours.
One word to describe a Brandeis student.
Ambitious.
Passionate.
Kind is such a cop-out, but that's what we're doing. Kind.
What is your favorite spot on campus?
The dungeon.
I was gonna say that. Okay.
Peace room.
The ICC.
What is a must-see place in Waltham?
Moody Street.
Yeah. Like, I can't say the graveyard, but I really like it.
I'm gonna go with a trail in Prospect Park.
Okay. And one piece of advice for first-year students.
Get sleep, please. Please,
Yeah,
as much as you can.
Yeah.
Explore.
Get excited. You're coming to Brandeis.
Yay.
Yay!
So.
Thank you all for listening, and we will see you all at orientation.
Yay.